Salman, I want to get your opinion on a big fight. I want to get your opinion on a massive, massive fight that's been announced. Actually, 2 fights that have been announced. We'll do it all in one video. Canelo Alvarez will be taking on Dmitry Bivol.
So you're going to say Dmitry Sandrid?
No, Dmitry Bivol, May the 7th. In a fight at light heavyweight against a very, very, very skillful operator. Also, Salman, we've got Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte fighting Tyson Fury, I believe, April 23rd at Wembley.
Yeah, April, yeah.
What do you make of Canelo Alvarez v Dmitry Bivol? Oh, let me just explain. He signed a 2-fight deal with Matchroom. Possibly going to be 3-fight, 160 million. He's going to be fighting Bivol on DAZN pay-per-view in America. Firstly, I want to get your opinion on the fact that DAZN said they weren't going to do pay-per-view and they were going to be a subscription platform, but they now are deciding to do a pay-per-view. They're deciding to do a pay-per-view, and this is how it works. If you're a DAZN customer, you have to pay £60 for the pay-per-view. If you're not a DAZN customer, you have to pay $80 or whatever. What do you make of that?
Personally, look, you got to realise DAZN are new into the game, and you know, sometimes people say things but then look back that, you know, for the big fights, you've got to have pay-per-view for the big fights. The thing is, what basically Eddie Earn and all these other guys that are with DAZN are saying, pay-per-view is now being blown out of proportion with these crap fights on pay-per-view, and I agree with them. I'm in agreement with them. You know, if you're a star, then yes, you've got to fight on pay-per-view. But that's if you're a star like Canelo, Joshua, a household name. But how many household names are there on boxing nowadays? You've got to take these things into consideration. Yes, Canelo deserves to fight on pay-per-view because he's a big star. If you're a big star, then you merit fighting on pay-per-view. If you're just there's a lot of fight like Barrios and Keith Thurman was on pay-per-view. That's not a pay-per-view fight. How is that a pay-per-view fight? I guarantee you they didn't even do 10,000 homes. Because no one knows who they both are. No, they both ain't even got 500,000 followers put together. So you got to realize these things. Some fights aren't pay-per-view and some are. So Canelo and Bivol is a pay-per-view fight. Not because Bivol's on the card, because Canelo's on the card. Canelo's a massive star in his own right. Canelo's a pay-per-view fighter in his own right because of the way he fights. He's an action-packed fighter and his name holds weight. Hence why DAZN are obviously putting that fight on pay-per-view. And it's right for that. Canelo's a pay-per-view fighter. He's not a subscription-based fighter. Canelo's a pay-per-view fighter and he's a pay-per-view star, so he has to fight on pay-per-view. So a lot of people saying that, oh, DAZN are going back on their word. They're not. They're just, you know, they've obviously gone into the market with a plan, and plans can be changed. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, now they've gone, you know, they're doing pay-per-view. What's so bad about it? I see people saying that, oh, they've gone back from what they've said and all of this, but, you know, a lot of people do that. The business is about developing and, you know, testing the water, and they're going into pay-per-view because they think that's, you know, probably the best option here to maximize their, you know, revenue.
Salman, Canelo will be fighting Bivol in May and then fighting Golovkin in September. What do you make of that?
I think that's brilliant, to be honest.
Would you have preferred Charlo and Benavidez?
No, I'd probably prefer this Bivol because, look, personally, I think he beats Triple G at this point because I think Triple G is way too old and he's been way too inactive at this age. What, he's nearly 42 or something? 40 years old. Like, personally, if I'm going to be honest, the second fight on the deal, I don't really want to see because I think Canelo knocks Triple G out this time, if I'm going to be honest. Not because Triple G's not got the chin or nothing. It's just the age. It's just the age and inactivity.
I don't think I don't know. I'm possibly.
If he doesn't knock Triple G out, then Triple G's built off he's something else. Because at 40, you know, Canelo's knocking out like after he's fought Golovkin, he's knocked out light heavyweights and he's pasting, you know, light mid. Look, I'll be very surprised if Golovkin goes 12 rounds with this Canelo. If he does, then Golovkin's built off something else. But do I think Golovkin wins? No chance. No chance. Look, this guy, Canelo's in the prime of his life. Golovkin's finished. You know, we've seen that against Golovkin in his last fight. He looked very slow. He can't beat Canelo. He's not going to beat him. Canelo's going to beat him up. He's going to beat him up, and maybe the corner has to stop it because Golovkin might just keep taking punishment. Whereas the Bivol fight, I think that's more of a good fight because they're both in their prime. Canelo will be fighting a light heavyweight champion that will also be up for it. That's in his prime, and I want to see that Bivol fight. I want to see how Canelo fares. I want to see how good Bivol is. Obviously, Canelo's a favourite, but let's see.
How do you see that one playing out? Because obviously,
I think that's going to be a nip and tuck fight. I think that could be a fight where it could go the distance and Canelo could lose.
Really?
I don't think it's an easy fight for Canelo if Canelo can't get his shots off and Canelo can't hurt him, if I'm going to be honest to you. Do we really see Canelo outboxing a light heavyweight that's skillful like Bivol? It'll be tough for him because the thing is with Canelo, he's going to have to start fast early. He's going to have to get the rounds under his belt because if he doesn't, I don't think he can really hurt these light heavyweights, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think he can. I think they'll be able to take his power because at 168 they were able to take his power. Well, they were going late. The fights were going really, really late. So at 175, I really see them taking his power, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think he'll be like a one-punch knockout artist at 175. If he can't hurt Bivol, it could be a long, hard night. He's testing himself, though. Because this is a fight where I can genuinely say I can't be 100% sure Canelo wins. You have to say. Like, a lot of people with the guys at 168, a lot of people said they could put their house on it, that he'd beat Caleb Plant, Saunders. And with this one, you can't be so confident. Because the last time he fought at 175 against the washed-up Kovalev, that nearly went wrong for him. Let's be honest, he was coasting in that fight. In this fight, I think he needs to start fast and he needs to start very, very spiteful.
Salman, don't you think Canelo's got so much experience against these type of fighters that box and move, and Bivol doesn't really have a lot of power? Does he have enough power to keep Canelo off of him?
Yeah, but it's not about him not having the power. He'll be able to keep, he might not have power to keep him off, but he could outbox him. And Canelo's punches might not affect him as much because obviously he fights at that weight. He's a natural 175 pounder. So he's able to take the shots. But look, Canelo's a favourite, of course, because of what Canelo's coming off of. But there's no meaning that Bivol can't put in a performance. We've been seeing a lot of fighters that are putting in performances now. Canelo's moving up. If Canelo has an off night, he's going to lose, probably. Canelo can't afford to have an off night moving up to 175 against any of them. Because the thing is, that could be the end of his, streak that he's been undefeated for ages now. Since he's fought Mayweather, he's not lost a fight. So it could, he's testing the waters. He's going against big fighters. But let's see what he can do. Let's see what I want to see this fight. I'm intrigued with this fight. Whereas the Triple G fight, I'm pretty sure Canelo will beat him. If I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty confident Canelo beats Triple G. If Triple G beats Canelo, Triple G is one of the greatest fighters of all time, I promise you. Because if he beats Canelo in this third fight, that goes to show Triple G is probably one of the best fighters of all time because he's beaten a guy that's just won a title. Like if he beats Bivol, and then if Triple G beats that guy, Triple G's something else. I'm sorry, but Triple G is an unbelievably good fighter if he can, but I just can't see him beating Canelo. If I'm going to be honest, I think he gets knocked out in that fight, personally. I think the Bivol fight will either go to points or will be a late stoppage for Canelo. But if it goes to points, I think it's a 50-50. I think it's a 50-50.
You picking Bivol to win this one? Are you slightly...
I'm not picking Bivol. If I'm going to pick anyone, if I have to put my money on it, I'm going to go with Canelo. Because I think Canelo obviously got the experience and he's... The run he's on right now, it's hard to pick against him, if I'm going to be honest. But you can't, obviously, if he's moving up weight to 175, it's uncharted territory against a fresh 170. Not a guy that's done. This guy's a guy that's rare. He's ready for a fight, Bivol. Let's see what Bivol is. But as I said, we don't know. Bivol's never been in there against someone like Canelo. We can only see on the night how good he is. Bivol might get splattered. We don't know. But let's see. We're going to have to see, how good he is. But if Golovkin can go in, if Golovkin beats Canelo, which I don't see happening, but if he does, then Golovkin was that goes to show you Golovkin was a great fighter. And Golovkin's been having a war of words with Andre Ward. So now I don't know who was ducking the fight, because from what I've seen now, Tom Loeffler said that, listen, Andre, don't don't basically, you know, try fool the public. You know, we wanted that fight, but we had signed against Lemieux. So maybe Golovkin would have fought Andre Ward, because Golovkin don't come across as the guy that he's scared of anyone. If I'm going to be honest to you, he's never been that sort of fight. He'll fight anyone. You know, so at the end of the day, Andre Ward didn't come back with no receipts or any emails. You know, so at the end of the day, I don't know. I think Golovkin would have fought Andre Ward, having looked back at it now. But let's see what happens.
Salman, I want to ask you a question. Tyson Fury v Dillian Whyte, a very, very good fight, a very intriguing fight, one that a lot of people are very, very excited about. Are you excited?
Obviously, it's something that I am excited about. However, you know, I know who's going to win that fight.
Dillian the body snatch?
No, Dillian Whyte has a puncher's chance. Everyone knows that, but Dillian Whyte's he's too slow. He's too slow. He's got very slow feet. He's very one-dimensional. Like, it's hard to see him beating Tyson Fury. He's not even going to be able to get... Tyson Fury's too quick for him. Dillian Whyte's stuck in the mud sort of stuff. Like, he's struggling. Like, I can't see him beating Fury, if I'm going to be... I think Fury will box his head in, to be honest. Derek Chisora had a better chance of beating Fury, in my opinion, because Derek Chisora had good feet movement. He could cut off the ring quite well. But Dillian Whyte...
If that left hook lands, could be game over.
No, the problem is, it's not gonna, because Fury's too big. Fury's too big, and plus, Fury's feet work's too good. Dillian Whyte's too slow. He's not... I would even say someone like Joshua's too slow. But Dillian Whyte, he's slow to another level. Like, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury will probably take a nap in there, and you know, look.
I don't know. I think you're overlooking Whyte. I think Whyte's dangerous.
I don't think so. Not for look. If you said to me Dillian Whyte versus someone else, and all right, fair enough. But Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury's on his A game, there's no way that Dillian. Look, he's got a puncher's chance like anyone else, any other fighter that would go in there. But that's about it. He can't beat Fury. He can't knock Fury out, because we all know Fury's got a granite chin. And
he ain't got a granite chin. He goes down.
No, he goes down. But the thing is, if the hardest punching heavyweight for the last 35 years weren't able to keep him down, then I'm pretty sure Dillian Whyte's not going to keep him down. Look, everyone knows that most likely Dillian Whyte can't beat Fury, and he's probably going to get knocked out. Because the reason why he's going to get knocked out, I'll explain. People will be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You know, Dillian Whyte's tough as boots." Mate, when you're getting hit and you can't hit the other guy, and he's just pasting you, mate, trust me, when you're in a fight where you're getting battered and you're not landing anything, you get disheartened. Like how Josh Taylor was getting disheartened tonight, right? You start to, you know, it starts to wear down. I think Tyson Fury stops Dillian Whyte, if I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry, but he'll stop Dillian Whyte within 6-7 rounds.
Wow. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let us know what you think about the fight. Does Tyson Fury beat Dillian Whyte and knock him out? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.